A good evening to everybody. On behalf of Philosophy family, I would like to extend a hearty welcome to all the viewers of Philosophy family. Today we have invited Professor Dr. Kalyani Sarangi, Assistant Professor, Department of Philosophy, Ramadevi Women's University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. And Dr. Kalyani Sarangi is very popular to Philosophy family. Dr. Kalyani Sarangi has a teaching experience of nearly 3 decades in different universities and colleges of Odisha. And Dr. Kalyani Sarangi has organized many national seminars whenever she teaches in any college or university. And to her credit, Dr. Kalyani has a couple of philosophy books. She has more than 5 books in philosophy. So, her specialization is ethics and women's study and many other philosophy that I do not want to explore all the things. So today I welcome Dr. Kalyani Sarangi to Philosophy family. Today she will speak on gender, women and religion. It is a very good topic and we all are waiting to her talk, and this talk will be very much beneficial to all of us. I extend my welcome to all the senior professors and scholars, those are with us on this academic platform of Philosophy family. I once again extend a hearty welcome to all the peers, all the professors, all the students. With this, I also extend my welcome to Dr. Pramod Kumar Das, the Chief Architect of Philosophy family, and Dr. K. Omnan Rao, the moderator of Philosophy family. With this, I extend my hearty welcome to Dr. Kalyani and request her to commence her talk on the topic gender, women, and religion. Over to Dr. Kalyani Sarangi.
Namaskar to all of you. Thank you, Kailas Bhai. Esteemed senior members of the philosophy family. Am I audible to all of you clearly? Am I
Yes, madam.
audible?
Yes, yes, madam. Yes, audible, audible.
Okay. Thank you. Esteemed senior members of the philosophy family, respected organizers, Kailas Bhai, Pramod sir, Om Narayan sir, and dear participants. I am thankful to you all for giving me this opportunity. I am thankful to Dr. Das personally for encouraging me to present the paper on the topic gender, women, and religion. I have already shared some mishappening occurred in my family that I have shared. There might be many lapses in my presentation, but I am open to all forms of corrections. Thank you. So let me begin. There is a saying, God could not be present everywhere, therefore, He made mothers or women. She is the best creation of the world. In Indic literature, she is described as Sahadharmini, better half of the men, because both of them together perform moral and religious duties, Namitika karma and Kamya karma. She is also described as Sahagamini because she is working along with her husband in every walks of life. Further, she is also described as Sahakamini as she and her husband both pursue the same desire. The position of women in the early Vedic age was very dignified and she was treated with high esteem. Women enjoyed a status of equality with men. Rig Veda mentioned about 27 women seers or rishikas. To name a few of them were Gargi, Maitri, Ghosa, Apala, Lopamudra, Vishwambara, Aditi, and others. Lopamudra, the wife of Rishi Agastya, attributed a hymn of Rig Veda. Maitreyi, the wife of Yajnavalkya, contributed 10 hymns for Rig Veda, and Gargi Bachakarni She is the daughter of Rishi Bacha, and as she belonged to clan of Garga, so her name is Gargi Bachakanya. Gargi the Brahmavadini. Brahmavadini means realized Brahman, philosopher and intellectual, participated in public debate, Tattvartha, which was organized by King Janaka and Videha. In one of the public debate, she challenged Rishi Jagyavalkya with questions related to Atman. I have cited this only to highlight that women in the early Vedic period, women in the early Vedic period were given freedom to participate in religious ceremonies, education, marriage rituals because they have the provision of Swayamvara, they have a free choice to choose their partner, economic freedom, and so on. Some of the verses of the Vedas depicts the perspective of women. 5.61.6 verse of Rig Veda says, Utitva stri sasyasi pungsho bhavati bashyasi. It means, O man, the woman deserves your respect, reverence, and love because she remains a generous and graceful accomplisher in the home in spite of man's want of pity and success. It clearly indicates respect for women is higher than men. All the women of the early Vedic period were influenced by the ideological power, whereas men were still indulging in the pursuit of material power of the pre Vedic era. So, here, for the clarity, I must mention about the distinction between pre Vedic period and early Vedic period that we must keep in mind. If there will be requirement for further discussion, then definitely I will discuss. So in the Yajur Veda, in chapter 1 verse 4, it is said that sa vishwayu ayu, sa vishwakarma, sa vishwadhaya, she is the secret force of the entire universe. However, in the latter Vedic period, particularly in the Smriti tradition, the status of women is gradually declined. Smriti tradition dated back to 2nd century BCE. Manusmriti, a very prominent book of law and ethics, is more misunderstood than understood. It consists of 12 chapters. If you go through it carefully, you will see there are contradictions. It is full of contradictions because there are verses which talks about high about women, like jatra naryastu pujyante tatra ramante devata, and there are also verses that speaks that demean the position of the women. One verse which talks high about women while others speak something different. Hence, some critics they say that completely reject Manusmriti by the help of logic. How? Just as we find a single negative instance is sufficient enough to discard the whole thesis of our finding. For example, we find a single crow not to be black in color, hence we reject the whole thesis that all crows are black. Similarly, there are critics, those who maintain that because there are negative instances that demean the position of women, so by citing that, one can reject all the scriptures that talk about women, though some of them talk high about women. Friends, my argument here would be we are talking about a factual issue, whether it is a women discrimination or women subjugation, or it is sexual objectification of women. So we are talking about a concrete reality. We are talking about a factual issue and trying to address the issue with the hope of a solution. We cannot talk about the issue only with logic or only by the help of logic as well as language bereft of reality. So we have to take into account the reality, because it is a concrete reality. So we cannot set it aside. We have to take it along with logic and language. So simply by taking logic, we cannot discard the scriptures, that even though there are some verses that talks low about women, but we cannot completely or outrightly reject them. So I'll just give another example of it, of Manusmriti, where there is a discussion of women with high esteem, but it is misunderstood. In chapter 9, verse 3 of Manusmriti, it is said that Pita Rakhyati Kaumare भ्राता रक्ष्यति जौवने रक्ष्यन्ति स्थविरे पुत्रा न स्त्री स्वतंत्रम अर्हति. It is translated as father protects her in childhood, husband protects her in youth, son protects her in old age, and the woman is not independent at any time. You see, why I have taken this one? Because I have certain reservations regarding to the translation. Because Manusmriti is found in Sanskrit, while we are translating it, or the translators, they should be very careful enough to understand the meaning, because when we say nastri swatantram arhati, that may be interpreted as one should not abandon the woman. One should not, because we have to take into account the context when Manusmriti was written, because without the context, the thing can never be understood properly. So here we can say that she should not be abandoned at any point of time, as we cannot abandon and we should not, and it is unethical to abandon a man when one needs someone, because basically man is a social being. So being a member of the social community, we should be together. So she should not be abandoned. Instead of independent, we can use the word abandon, so that the meaning will be very clear to all of us. In the chapter 9 of the same Smriti, that is Manusmriti, there is a vivid discussion on the duties and the relationship within the family members, inheritance rules, Stridhan, moral conduct, which is applicable for both men and women. Though we usually, when we talk about the conduct, we talk about the character, we talk about the restrictions, we talk about the rules, regulations. Usually, we take it for granted, we have taken it for granted that it is applicable only to women folk, and it will not be applicable to the male members of the community. So accordingly, as it suits to all of us, accordingly we design, and we exclusively say that the women should follow all these rules, conduct, character. They have to maintain the character. So what's about the men? So can the men become characterless? If they will become characterless, what will be the result of a society? You just imagine. So Manu has given the book of law, or you talk about the book of ethics, that is inclusively applicable to both men and women. It is not exclusively meant for women only. So another character, that is because we know when we talk about my presentation, mostly the first half of my presentation is based upon the Indian scriptures. And when we talk about the Indian scriptures, there is Vedic age, there is Smriti period is there, so there is Dharma Shastra is also there. So we cannot ignore that also. So another character that appeals me more, that I want to share with you all, that is from Mahabharata. uh, the I address her as the female hero named Draupadi. I also prefer to address her as the diva, because she is not only beautiful, at the same time she is not only looking gorgeous, at the same time she is intellectually also high. So uh, I address her as diva. She has been picturized in the Mahabharata as a strong and self-confident lady who revolted when things were unfair and had a mind of her own. What's wrong when she possessed that personality? Because everyone, whether male or female, that does not matter. Everyone has to speak X is X and X is right or X is wrong. So if she speaks it out, so what's wrong with that? So I want to cite one heinous incident of Mahabharata, that is Vastraharana. After the disgraceful act of disrobing her, she raised many pertinent legal and moral questions to the statesmen who were present in the assembly. By asking questions, Draupadi, the woman, transcends the private and domestic sphere and contests the rights of a master over his slave and slave over his wife. She questioned how could Dharmaraj Yudhishthira stake her when he had lost himself first? Was he allowed to stake her after losing in the play of dice? How could he alone take the decision to bet her when she was the wife of five brothers? So, by raising these questions, she questioned knowledge about right and wrong. So Lilavati Karve, in her classic Yuganta, the end of an epoch, described her as a lady Pandit. Through her interrogation, all the superiors were in dilemma. She is dauntless and sagacious. So we can say that, because not only she is the one, you can say, who represent all the women of all the time to come. So this position of women further declined in the medieval period because of many reasons. One of the key reasons might be because of the repeated attacks by the invaders and significant changes in political structure, culture, and social dynamics. Gradually, sati system was introduced. There was parda system, child marriage, because if the girl child will be will not be married prior to her puberty, then she may be abused, because she might be in the eyes of the people, and there will be might be something wrong may happen. So in anticipation with that, parents, they are preferring child marriage and restricting widow in private and public affairs. There are so many restrictions were imposed on the, because she is not allowed to take some foods, she is not allowed to attend any public functions, ceremonies. So these become the order in the just go back. This is the situation in, you can say, this is the situation in India. This was the situation. So let's go back. Let's have a time piece in our hand, and let's go back to the early civilization, that is Greek civilization, and let's see or analyze what was happening in the West. So there were, when we have a timepiece and we go back to the Greek civilization, you know, Socrates was said to be the father of Socrates was said to be the only philosopher, only renowned philosopher, you can say. Socrates never talked about any form of discrimination because he believes in natural capacities, natural ability. Even Plato in his many dialogues of politics, you can say, Plato appears to be the champion of equality between men and women, and thereby he is termed as the first ever feminist. Yet there are yet there are also cases which reflects his typical misogynistic attitude or tendency, his vulnerability to prejudice of his age. So Aristotle could not conceive under any circumstance that women could ever be men's equal. So Aristotle differed from his master, from his teacher, from his preceptor, and upheld the view that women are not only naturally, physically weaker, but also weaker of souls. In his Generation of Animals, his line of argument is more focusing on biology and the act of procreation to prove the weakness of the female soul. So, actually, you can say he or Aristotle laid the first foundation stone for the gender binary or gender parity. You can talk in that way because he is the one who once said that men, women possess lesser reasoning than men. Men possesses more reasoning, and women possesses lesser reasoning. But friends, you know, science says that it is not the case. Science says that brain has two hemispheres. One is the emotional part of the brain, and the other is the rational part of the brain. So whether a male or a female in whom the rational factor, the rational part is more active, he or she becomes more rational. In whom the emotional factor becomes more active, he or she becomes more emotional. So you cannot, on that way, you cannot make the distinction. By that, one cannot say that women are more emotional, men are more rational. So this distinction is scientifically, you can say that it is not having its own ground. So but Aristotle, taking that into account, that women possesses less reasoning than men, so therefore he said that women should be kept in home to look after the younger ones, the toddlers, the children, and the old ones, and the men should go out for pursuing, for looking for earning, so that they can sustain their family. So this is how, even you can see in the West, the discrimination that was made from the statement of the Aristotle, because you know, at that period of time, Aristotle was said to be the father of many disciplines. He was said to be the father of political science. He was said to be the father of logic. So people cannot, because you know, when a very well recognized person speaks like that, so people usually there will be biasness. So this is how the he is the first person to lay the foundation stone for gender bias, and thereby gender came into existence. So when we talk about gender, there is a confusion. Always we go with this confusion that gender and sex, whether they are same or they are different. Friends, there is no doubt there is difference. So let's in one or two sentences let us talk about the difference. So when we talk about sex, we know that sex is natural and sex is biological. You see, a girl is formed because there is a pair of x and XX, because there is a pair of XX, and that one X, if it becomes short, it becomes one part of one X. If it becomes short, it becomes Y, and there is the whole difference, you see. So when we talk about that sex is biological and it is natural. And when we talk about gender, we know that gender is always made by society. So it is you can say that it is a social construct. Gender is a social construct. So it is so that's why I can here cite the existential mantra given to us by Simon de Beauvoir, the companion of Jean-Paul Sartre, that women are not born as women, rather they are made women by the society, by the community. A girl is born as a child only. We, the community members, made her a woman. So that is a very beautiful quotation made by Simon de Beauvoir. So you can say that on that basis, you can say gradually gender came into force and it integrates honeycomb to every walks of our life, whether it is Indian or it is whether it is East or it is West. So uh, so that becomes so ingrained in all our mindset that we say we make the work division accordingly. We make the even the work, not only the work, everything revolves around that gender discrimination. So even to address that discrimination, so there is feminism came into force. So when we talk about feminism, we should not talk it in terms of a theory. Rather it is a you can say it is a movement, that it is a movement only only to bring gender equality, only to oppose gender injustice, only to oppose all the glass ceilings are there that are blocking the woman to flourish and blossom. So that is the with that mission feminism came. And feminism, so when we talk about feminism, there is nothing like Indian feminism or Western feminism. The problem may differ from one region to another region. The problem may differ from one culture to another culture. The problem may differ from one country to another country. But there is no such thing as feminism, Indian and Western. Feminism that highlights about the women issues, that highlights about the women's rights, so that highlights about all forms of injustice so far is done to women, and they are talking in terms of equality. So when friends, when we talk about gender, gender does not confine itself to men and women. It includes LGBTQ. L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B stands for bisexual, T stands for transgender, and Q stands for queer. And nowadays we are talking of Q plus plus queer plus plus plus. So you see, so all are included. It is not about women only. So it is no more when we talk about gender binary, when we talk about gender discrimination in our everyday life, we see that when we come across with a transgender, we laugh at her or him, we laugh at him. We say that because we think that this is so deep rooted in our mindset that we think that they should be outcasted. We look at them with a very inquisitive mind, how they are as if they are just something different from all of us. No, friends, gender it not only confined to women, not only confined to men, it is so inclusive that all the LGBTQ people, they are also included in them. So when we talk about feminism, again there is a confusion that feminism means it always refers to women activists. No, again it is not like that, because there are so many male activists are there, those who are also writing and fighting for the for women justice, for gender justice, for gender equality. So there are certain misconceptions and misunderstandings that revolved around the very concept feminism. That is, the first misunderstanding about feminism is that we understand it as anti-male movement. No, it is not at all anti-male movement. It is a movement that talks about gender equality, and when we talk about gender, it is inclusive. Even men are also included in it. That we have to keep in mind. The second uh, misunderstanding that also raised, that even I heard it from great people, those who claim that they are great in academics. I heard from them that, oh, these people, they are shouting slogans against men. So they are shouting slogans against the institution of marriage. So, friends, again, I must clarify to all of you that it is not a movement that speaks all about anti marriage or speaks all about against marriage, because there are different movements we talk about, there are different waves of feminism where we see that liberal feminists are there, those who are advocating for marriage. So they, for them there is no issue at all regarding marriage. Even they treat marriage as an institution. So the when we talk about the different phases of different waves of feminism, nowadays we are talking even of fifth wave of feminism. I will talk one or two like that. First wave of feminism, which began in the late 19th and the early 20th century, which focus more on suffrage, demand for the equal rights for women based on the equality of the sexes. Because you see, in that way, I can say India is better off than than many of the Western countries, because when we talk about the right to vote, when Indian Constitution is formed, from the very beginning, both men and women are given the right to vote. But just look at the West, women were deprived of exercising their right to vote. So they fight. So they fight for that right. So you can say in they fight for that. And again, you can talk about the transformation of feminism in the past decade, that has been referred to as the third wave of feminism. And whether you talk about third, fourth, or fifth, I will focus a little bit on fifth, because the fifth wave of feminism that speaks nowadays, it is going on. We talk about the digital literacy of the women. Now they are fighting for the equality in digital literacy of women, because where if we give a very cursory look to the digital literacy, you see, in even in our family, we allow our women to have a not so updated uh, mobile. Just it is just press and manage. But when it's about the men, always we prefer to give him a very updated mobile. So when or you can see the there are different statistics have been surfaced nowadays, which clearly indicate that when we talk about the fifth wave of feminism, the different statistics, it shows that when we talk about the high rank in the digital platform, when we talk about the high ranking positions, it is all occupied by the men. I am not saying this. The statistics uh, of that is done by different NGOs, I can say, the it speaks like that. So, so the fifth wave feminism, it talks about the digital literacy of women. So whatever it may be, whether it is first, second, third, or fourth, or fifth wave of feminism, feminism in all its forms involves at least two claims that I can say. One is a normative claim, that is what ought to be the case, and another one is the descriptive claim, that is what is the case. Because unless we do not know what is the case, from that we cannot come to what should be the case. So we have to take into account the descriptive case claim, what is happening all around us, whether women are treated equally, whether even you see nowadays, I'll come to later and I will come to my point. So there is the descriptive claim must be there, and that descriptive claim will pave the path for you can say for the normative claim. So when we talk about these different forms of feminism and just come to the present moment, whether it is east or it is west, come to the present moment and let's see what is happening all around us, whether gender equality is there or not. Nowadays you see there are many key concepts associated with gender, associated with feminism. One concept I can say, quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Another, quid pro quo means give something, in return I will give something to you. So you as a subordinate, you can take an example as the subordinate, you give me something, in return I may give you promotion. Quid pro quid. Quid pro quo. It is. And another concept that is very disturbing, sugar daddy concept. Sugar daddy means suppose there is a rich person, he will adopt a girl who is not so wealthy. He will give her maintenance, and in return he will expect something that is not ethical. In that way I can say sugar daddy concept. Even women surfing, in exchange, women wives are wife surfing, wives are exchange as if wives are objects. So sexual objectification of women, you see, always I object. You see any advertisement, it may be the advertisement of a cigar, but you see there is a, in the cover page, a sensuous lady is there, the picture of a sensuous lady. Why? So by that what we are doing, we are objectifying women as an sexual item. So these different concepts, many more concepts are there. So you see these concepts nowadays, it is upcoming concepts. So you see that again further led to wider gap between men and women, and women are subjugated, women are discriminated. If she is a woman, no doubt she is discriminated. If she is a Dalit woman, she is doubly excluded. This is the concrete reality we are living with. So you see, so again, if this is the problem, how to address this problem, that is a big challenge for all of us, even for the academia. Because you see what is happening, you talk about many students in Odisha. I can give the example. Many students, they are either self-immolating or they are committing suicide. Even even many students across the globe, you can say, across many youth across the globe, they are duped in love, they are cheated in love affairs, uh, um, they are misused in many ways, you can say, for which even they do not hesitate to end their lives. If you see, if you see, when we define health, the UN gave a very quotable code definition of health. Health not only include the physical uh, soundness of the health, it includes our mind also. Mental health is a challenge nowadays. Mental health is a challenge nowadays. So that's why you see, even in UGC guidelines says that you must have a counseling center, because the youth with lot many problems, racial discrimination is there, uh, you can talk about class discrimination is there, you can talk about, suppose a girl is very beautiful and another girl is not so beautiful, then there is complex, so that lead to a different form of mental issue. So many mental health is there, again because of that gender discrimination, you can say, in some or other way out. So that needs to be addressed. So that's why the UGC also provided a very authenticated and systematic guidelines for internal committee to address and to try to bridge the gap. Many initiatives are taken, but you see, when things are deep rooted in our mindset, in our attitude, how many rules, regulations, penalties, codes of conduct, whatever you do, it is not at all going to help us in a very visible way. Because you see, many invisible glass ceilings are there. You see, when a child born, what we do? If she is a girl child, we give her a cooking set. When if he is a boy, we give him a gun. Why this sort of description, this discrimination? You see, but what is the concrete reality that you see? When we talk about, when we talk about the concrete reality, you see all the shapes, all the very you can say, all the very established shapes, they are they are men. When it is about earning, when it is about the power positions, you see, give any statistics in any field, you see, in my state, I can talk about my state. My state, after so many years, only the oldest university of Odisha that got a woman vice chancellor just recently, after so many years, you see. So you can always, you see, all the shapes, all the highest positions, it is occupied only by the male folk. Why? Does the same blood that is, that flows within the man, the same blood, the same color of the blood that flows within the woman? Why the difference? Even in the, you see, I salute to some extent to Indian culture, because if you go to the Kaikai, the wife of Dasrath, she used to fight, she used to give company to her husband in the battlefield, because she exhibit her military power. So on that basis, you can say that why this sort of difference? Why this sort of difference? Because that difference is deeply rooted in our mindset, in the patriarchal mindset, which means male dominated mindset. male always be privileged and subjugated. This difference, this patriarchal mindset, why this patriarchal mindset is there? If there will be questions, we always blame religion. We say that religion is the sole culprit of the patriarchal mindset. We always say so. It is religion, out and out religion. But you see, I have cited Rig Veda, verses from Rig Veda. I have cited, even I can cite one verse from the Madharasa Upakhyana, where Madharasa through lullaby, she says that she, when her baby were crying, she used to pacify them by saying, शुद्धोसी बुद्धोसी निरंजनेषु संसार माया परिवर्जितेषु. So you are a powerful soul, you are a spotless soul, you are Shuddha, you are ever pure, Buddha, you are ever intelligent, you are Niranjanasu, you are spotless. So just discard the Maya, the sansara of Maya. You see, so that indicates that whether a male or a female, there is a soul resides in all of us, and the soul is beyond all forms of sex or all forms of gender. So there are scriptures that talks that never speaks all about, that never speaks about that patriarchal mindset. It talks about equality, but that equality is more misunderstood than understood. As I have cited the Manusmriti, you see, many verses that speaks high about women, and there are many verses that speaks low about women. So why this? Suppose one person has written, or many persons have written, they must have the same mindset. Why he has this type of mindset? So I can say that this is not because of Manu, this is not because of the author who has written this, but it is because how we interpret. Our interpretation is to be rectified. More gray areas are there regarding our interpretation. If our interpretation will be looked again and again, more research will be conducted on that, I think more good things will come up. So we can say that, so that patriarchal mindset, it is not solely religion is not to be blamed for that, for which many critics they says that religion is gender blind and gender is religion blind. So we can say that the, because we find out that there are contradictions in even in one scripture, so we can say that it is because of the amalgamation, because regarding the power positions, it might be a possibility, I'm just exploring that possibility. It might be a possibility that because men wanted to occupy the power physically, men are more stronger, that one cannot deny, but that physicality should not be misunderstood as the fact that men are mentally also strong. No, it cannot be. They might be mentally, women are more stronger. It is also proved, it is also established. When you talk about the traffic rule, it is always given to women. It, when you talk about, because the woman can do lot of things at the same time without causing anything disturbed. She can cook, she can teach to her child, she can collect water, she can do many things at the same point of time. So that's why it is the traffic is always given to the women folk, because they can manage it effectively. It is a proven established one. So you see, so when, so my point of submission before all of you is that when we talk about religion is not the sole culprit. Religion is not at all the is to be blamed for the patriarchal mindset. Rather, we can blame many more things. But when we talk about religion, again I go back to Manusmriti, where it is said that to understand dharma, to understand religion, you can say dhruti, kshama, dhamma, asteyam, saucha, indriya, nirgaha, dhi, vidya, satyam, akrodha iti dharma dasakam. So it says that there are 10 qualities of a dharma. If it is there, then it is called as a religion or it is called as a dharma. So that needs to be understood more properly. So instead of, you cannot say that it is only religion. Even you talk about the Sramana tradition like Jainism, where it is said that woman has to born again as a man in order to get liberation. Friends, do not misunderstand it. Why they have said? Because when we talk about Jainism, you know, Sitambara and Digambar people, they discard their clothes. So when they discard, they used to remain nude. So for women, because with reverence, with respect, when we look at the woman, so being nude is not admissible to our mindset. So that may be one of the reason for which we say she has to born again, but that does not mean that she cannot get liberation. So in order to get liberation, she will born again as a male. So there are many misunderstanding related to religion is there, because when you talk about religion, we always give importance on the ultimate goal of individual life, of the human life. So when we talk about the ultimate goal of human life, that is liberation, anybody, whether a man or a woman or LGBTQ, when he pursue in the path of this dharma dasakam, then definitely he will get liberated. So religion should not be misunderstood as the key point for patriarchal attitude. That patriarchal attitude may be because of power politics, maybe because of the power positions. That's why we are making the discrimination. Still the gender discrimination is there. Work ethics, work ethics is not there. So more, we though we talk of the women empowerment, it is women are already empowered, because scientifically there is a, we talk of mitochondria, that is all empowered cell that women possess. Science also says like that. So they are already empowered, but it is because of our society, it is because of our social ambience, the discrimination came into force, and it is visible to all of us in a very wrong manner. So let us join our hands together. Let us, as you know, we all, the charity should begin from our home. So let us join and let us begin from our home itself to bring equality, to bring gender equality, and to transcend. Do not treat her divinely. Jatra naryastu pujant. I have objection. Do not treat her divinely. Do not treat her as a goddess, because she is a woman. Behind the flesh, there is a human being. So respect that human being. So identify her as a human person, just like any other human being. So just respect that human being, that region, that personhood, that dignity, that personhood that resides in a woman's body. So if you recognize that, so no more gender discrimination, we all will be one. So let us promise to begin from our home itself. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Sarangi, for your clarity and stand on the topic gender, women, and religion. And while discussing the position of women in different historic periods, civilization, and religion, you have excellently reflected on the gender equity and the dignity of women in comparison to the male members of society. And you have also quoted the lines from Yajurveda, Manusmriti, Lilavati Kavya, Mahabharata, and many Indian texts. And your talk is based on the factual issue or the concrete reality, not by logic. And you have made a very conceptual clarity on what gender is. And you have made that gender is a social construct. You have also argued and on the contradictions, misunderstanding, and gender discriminations on this issue from different standpoints that I do not want to reflect all the things. And you have also reflected on the present issues of the feminism, and you have also given some solutions, some that is to the way out. And you have also very clearly explored the update knowledge of feminism, and you have also put the modern issues on girl and women, that is which are happening throughout the world. And you have said that the issues of women, that is not lies only on religion. Religion is not the sole culprit, and you have said that women are already empowered, and the issue that it is only an issue of social ambience. So you have request for joining hands together and to represent thanks so much, madam, for your very clear thought and clear exposition that's on this issue. And congratulations for very clearly reflecting on the issue of women, uh, that is, and your stand. Thanks so much, madam. Now, I would like to request Dr. K. Unan Rao to moderate the session. Over to
Acha,
Dr. Rao.
Dr. Rao, Dr. Rao, okay, we shall
You
have
please
this.
take it. You please. Okay, Pramod
Okay,
sir, you please take it.
yes, yes. First of
Kalyani
all,
madam is not there.
yes, she has joined now.
She has joined. Acha. Kalyani
Sir,
madam.
Dr. Rao, keep in mind that we shall end this session at just 8 p.m. So only question answer, okay? So
Yes.
that will promote the main lecture. We should not divert the main lecture by avoiding questions. So we should ask very pinpointed questions so that the speaker will get chance to explain more.
Yes. Okay. Dr. Prashant Sukla is on the screen. Well, he wants something to say. Yes, Dr. Sukla.
Thank you, Sarangi ma'am. It was a very enriching lecture. I would quickly put my two queries in front of you for consideration. Number one, you have clearly mentioned the distinction between gender and sex, and feminism is an issue which is definitely a societal and social issue. So, my concern is why should not it be considered in sociology, and how come it can be involved in the field of philosophy? Because I believe philosophy is always considered with the theories which are transcendental and uniform in nature, what we call as Trikala Badhita Jnana. Since feminism is a socially contextual theory, so how can and how should a philosopher should consider it? Number one, ma'am, are you there? Okay, I can, no issue. But can I quickly put my second point, even if ma'am is not there?
Carry on, sir. Carry on, sir.
Yeah, my concern is ma'am has taken ample amount of evidences that in Indian philosophy, Jiva is pradhan, neither male or female. So the soul is gender neutral. It is neither male nor female. I totally agree with her point. But the thing is, it seems that ma'am has selectively taken the examples which suit the theory, because of course there are theories which say that vasudhaiva kutumbakam and yatra nari pujyante tatra ramante devata, but there is another shlok which says veera bhogya vasundhara. So vasundhara is something which is taken, which is supposed to be consumed. So why are we selective? Why are we not taking all the example at one go? So that is my humble query, ma'am. Thank you.
Sir, please repeat the question because I was disconnected. So please repeat. Then
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can do
Yes, ma'am.
it. So
Ma'am, the first question was, since feminism is considered with a gender issue, not the sex issue, we all know that sex is biological and gender is sociological. So my concern is feminism should be taken in the discipline of sociology and it should not be considered a part of philosophical discussion because philosophy is considered with Trikala Badhita Gyan. It should not be contextual. It should not be in the past or in the future. It should not be in that in Europe or in India. It should be uniform. That is why I presume feminism should not be a concern, at least for the philosopher. The second point was you have selectively taken example which support your view that religion does not meddle or interfere with the feminist issues. But there are also counter example where religion says Veer Bhogya Vasundhara. So somehow religion also says that a female body is supposed to be consumed. Of course we are not agree with this, but there are also counter example. So what you have to be you have to place your position in this context. Thank you, ma'am.
very nice question, Prasant sir. Thank you for raising the questions. The first question is why feminism is a philosophical debate, right? The first question is that because when you see, you have told that feminism is not a sociological issue because when we talk about gender is sociological. There is it is exactly not sociological. Even I can say it is a social construct because we have constructed the society, the members of the society, they have constructed women is to be perceived like this. So we work ethics should be like this. It is the members of the society, and there are issues, and it is feminism who is trying to address the issues, right? So why feminism is to be discussed in philosophical platform? My points will be because it is not one dimensional; it is multi-dimensional. It includes the first point is that it includes dignity, that is the dignity means self esteem. And when you talk about dignity is a virtue, and if it is treated as a virtue, then it ought to be discussed in ethical platform as well as in philosophical platform. First point. Second point is that we talk about personhood. The example that you have given, that she has to be enjoyed, she has to be consumed as the object of enjoyment, there lies the personhood. Because as long as the personhood is there, that ought to be and must be discussed in the philosophical platform. That would be my answer. Thank you.
Anybody, Reena madam, any feminist question?
I
Madam.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sarangi ma'am. It was a wonderful lecture. Like you have compared uh, Indian status of the women from the Greek, because we really never do that. It was a really extra efforts which you have taken up. Ma'am, just what you said, no, that I might always I raise a question because in as Shukla sir, Prashant Shukla sir said that it is not a philosophical question, but when we learn the social philosophy, we learn about the human relationship. So naturally, when human relationships are there, this question will be there because you also raised the question about the LGBTQ. So LGBTQ also come under the human relation only. It's not a women that we are talking it about, but we are talking in uh, overall manner. So this glass selling example which you gave, so who said that I cannot work it out, because it has been made, the constraint, the barrier has been made by the society. So we need to change the mindset of the society, which first I feel, because of Plato's, as you said, it's very conflicting statement that Plato gives. It is not clear what he speak about the women rights. But when we speak about the J.S. Mill, he was a person who speaks about the perfect equality. Maybe they are not clear because of the
We talked about
social
it. Right.
social constraint which was there in Greece. And even though the possibility is there in the India. When you spoke about the Manusmriti also, the social constraint which has been made in the later Vedic period into the Smriti period, which you said, that is perfectly all right. But if we see that, whether it is the Draupadi's example which you gave, or whether the Manusmriti, if it has been written from the point of view of the women, if women would have written something, it would have been naturally different. What do you feel so, ma'am? That's the question, because the constraint, it's a, yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand.
ma'am, please.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, thank you, madam. Actually, my understanding, I will answer to your question according to my understanding. Okay. So, my understanding is that when we read any book, any scripture, we have to read it in the context. We cannot read it in isolating the context, because what we can very well conceive that what might have been the situation, would have been the situation at that period, because women were not getting education. Very few, very rich people, just like I have told you, uh, Sita, or somebody else, but all of them not, they are not allowed because of many factors, because the first factor is the safety of the girl child. Even nowadays, you see, the same safety is at stake. Even we are so developed, technically so developed, the safety is still at stake. But I am going through the Manusmriti time and again. The original text is with me. So it says that when I, because of the paucity of time, I skipped inheritance rights. When we talk about the inheritance right, nowadays we are also talking about the Property Rights Act. It is almost taken from that only. How and when a girl child will be, if she is unmarried, she will be equally treated with her male siblings. And if stridhan is there, if maternal property is there, it is to be equally distributed. So some good things are there. My problem is that I think I may be wrong. My point of submission is that we used to see where is the lacuna, so that we can take it and we can maximize it and we can say that, and we are overlooking the good things that are also described in the text. So that is why I repeatedly said here that more research is really required. There are many, all the areas are not black and white, there are many gray areas, and they need to be researched upon. They need more research, is to be more. We have to read the scripture so that we can just Prashant sir जैसे बोले कि you have picked up only those verses that will suit to your presentation. Yes, I have, typically I prefer to choose that, so that it will support my what I am saying. But that does not mean I am completely not going through all the things. There are, that's why I'm saying, particularly citing Manusmriti, because we have find out so many contradictions. So that's why we say that it might be there because of the power positions, because the male folk, they want to occupy the same power. They might have interfered, and they might have put something that that might not be there in the original text. That is my submission, my way of interpreting the thing, because a scripture cannot be we cannot be found with so many contradictions, because one, in one verse we are talking so much of women, and in a positive way, in another verse we are talking so much in a negative way. Now if we say that it is of one, then it indicates the not of a sound mind, right? So I can, with the context, with you, I have already told you that the problem might differ from one country to another country, but feminism as a movement, it has certain aims that is equal for all women. So when we read the text, we cannot solely, you cannot blame the religion, that religion is the sole culprit and the only culprit for patriarchal mindset. It might be due to the power picture, because they are, because it might be the case that they want to occupy the power, and because of the power, because all people are religion is just like an opium, so people will be biased by religions. So if we will manipulate the religions, then it will be easy to rule over them. It might be a possibility. I'm just exploring the possibility. It might be one of the possibility. This is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Just one thing I need to add. Can I, Om Narayan sir, can I add one thing?
Madam, carry on, madam. Carry
Yeah,
on.
yes. Thank you, sir. I think with this context, what ma'am you're talking it about, we need to think rationally. The rationality is more needed because we come to know when the scent literature is there, or whether the mystics are there. We come across there is equality. There is equality we come across in the mysticism, but the question comes when the social philosophy it is there. We really find the distinction is there. So we need to think rationally and give the position to the women
Definitely.
which is equally. Yeah,
You see,
that's the
when you have to do justice to one text, when you have to judge a scripture impartially, you have to do only with the help of reason. Because you see, if there will be biasness, then it will be another form of biasness. We are talking of how to get rid of biasness, be it gender biasness, but we are trying to get rid of that. So when we judge a text, when we read a scripture with the rational mind, with the analytical bent of mind, we try to go through it. Then we will have a better understanding. There might be, I do not say that because we are interpreting, we are translating, there might be many lapses, but that lapses can be corrected at any point of time. We must be, at least we must be open to that. Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Yes, let us move to Radhana sir. Sir, pinpointed questions, sir. Pinpointed questions. Namaskar. Pinpointed
Okay,
questions.
namaskar. Namaskar.
Nam-
Thank you, Dr. Kalyani. Thank you for your enlightening talk. But I have my own reservations. Forget that I am a male. What? How many women are philosophers or pursuing the secret of unveiling truth? Very few. Very few. Not because of their mental faculty, but because of the chances not given to them. You may argue. But scientific analysis is something different. When a human brain was dissected, the two hemispheres, as you pointed out, each hemisphere has a sector, and each sector is devoted to one discipline of human thought, like soft liberal arts, like painting, dance, drama, or even music, singing, etc. The other one is very hard, that is pursuing science, the invisible, the difficult subjects like philosophy, psychology, etc. So it was seen that why women are scared about pursuing mathematics and other sciences. They have found it that there is a sort of uh, uh, pointer in every sector, and whenever it comes to the sector dealing with science and mathematics, it was seen that it could not be contained, or the pointer could not move to that extent, it would come back to liberal arts. It may be fluctuating between these two sectors, one for liberal arts, the other for abstract science. Therefore, there is lack of concentration which is demanded in the subject of pursuing uh, pure science or mathematics, etc. So that's why that is a sort of deficiency proved by science, not by your philosophy, not by your argument, not by your confronting the academic issues. And number two, whenever a young bride is burned at the stake, who is responsible? Not necessarily the father-in-law, not necessarily the husband himself. Court will take cognizance only when the actual culprits are apprehended, and they surely point to the mother-in-law and the sister-in-law. Who is the enemy of a woman? Not necessarily man, it is women themselves. Can you please explain why it happens?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I will start with your second question first, then I will go to answer your first question.
Please do, please do.
Sir, you have told that the bride burnt. Why, when the bride is burnt, the culprit is a mother-in-law or the sister-in-law. Sorry, sir. Sorry to say you. This is actually not the case. It is the sole culprit is the patriarchal mindset. The patriarchal mindset is that she is the other. You have told that how philosophy is going to address it. It is only philosophy that can make the correction, that will say that it is there is no other. So because the patriarchal mindset, we say that it is the son-in-law, or the son, or the father-in-law. They might not be directly involved, but they have indirectly coaxed the mind to such extent that they have done this. So that is the patriarchal mindset. It might not be the father-in-law, might not be the husband, might not be the male members, but the very patriarchal mindset, that is the culprit. You are a bride, you have to do these things. You are a bride, you cannot raise your voice against any form of injustice. That is the patriarchal mindset. So the sole responsible factor here is the patriarchal mindset. So first question, actually I could not follow you. That is, you have told that all the liberal arts are studied by women, and all the abstract sciences are taken by the male members. I will differ, sir. With due respect, I differ from you, because you have said that science has established that. I so far I did not see that type of establishment. If, then kindly share with me. But as far as my understanding tells you that both feminine energy and the masculine energy with all of us, if in some male persons feminine energy may be more expressed, and in some females male energy, male hormone, you can say that male hormone, female hormone are there. So more in a male body, female hormones are more expressed, so he behaves accordingly. That's why we say that you are like this and this. And when the girl wants to ride a motorbike, we say that you are behaving like a boy. Why this attitude? So male hormones are more expressed, and usually they are in the moderate form, but in some individuals they are more expressed. But when we talk about the reading, or the by the abstract sciences, they need more concentration. And regarding concentration, it is proved that girls are having more concentration, because they can do lot of things, lot of many things. That's why they are named as dasabhuja. They can do lot of many things at the same point of time, without disturbing anything, without displacing anything from their order. So again, I liberal arts, because it might be the, again you can say that it is the patriarch mindset. We might be out of love, care, concern, we say that no, no, she is a girl, so she should be cared more, she should go for more, that will not give her more stress, and the boy should expose to the stress because he has to run the family. So there might be other factors. You cannot say that this is the only, she is lacking something, that's why she is given to liberal arts and he is possessing something extra. No, it is not at all like that. Rather the same thing, same brain. Because there are you see, when we talk about radium के बार करते रे radium. So, who? Madam Curie. So you see, there are Sunita Williams. She reached to a height which no other. So you cannot, by that you cannot make that sort of discrimination. Again, patriarchal mindset is still with us, even it is with me. So still it is with us. To eliminate that, to discard that, we need more exposure, we need more analysis. We have to analyze, we have to begin it from our home itself, from our family itself. Then it may be extended, then you can accommodate with others. So this might be my submission only. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Well, before I move to somebody, I have a thing in my mind.
Sir.
I don't know how far it goes. Well, as Manusmriti, you have made a quote where the women are revered, there the gods rejoice. Okay, it's a beautiful quotation that respects women. There is no reference to say where the where the male members are revered, gods reside. No reference like that. But there is no complaint from the male side. But when it comes to reverence to women, this, what it means a sort of respect that has to be given to women. Why did Manu say so? Maybe there is a natural compulsion from the creation process itself, because some sort of what Dr. Behera was pointing out, that some way, I'm not questioning the mindset of the IQ of the feminine, okay, the IQ of the feminine, but still, as the creation goes, somehow, somewhere in the creation itself, some sort of discrimination. I don't know. Well, that would be right terminology to use. But still, why Manu has made a point that women should be respected? Because somehow in the nature itself, that disparity does exist, and that's why it is said that woman has to be respected, protected at different stages, at the childhood by the parents, and during the young age by the husband, and then during the old age by the children. So maybe in the creation itself, some sort of the parity has existed. Number one. Number one. This is what I want a clarification from your side, madam. Then I will move to the next point.
Okay, okay, sir. Sir, you are pointing that why Manu talked about Naryastu Pujyante, right? This is the question, I suppose. Why
Uh,
he didn't talk
where
about
where the women
men,
are respected.
men were not
Why
worshipped.
did you talk of men like
Right,
that?
right. Very good question. I understand. Because you see, because Manu said that Naryastu Pujyante Tatra Ramante Devata, that's why the discussion. That's why it is bothering all of us. Why women were to be worshipped? Why not men? So you see, men were, when Manu has written, you see the code of law. If you will go through the entire Manusmriti, then you see it is already male chauvinism already was in practice, because naturally when the father dies, naturally the property goes to the son. Naturally, Manu has written this, it is not me who is saying so. Naturally it goes to the son, and the lion's share will go to the eldest son. So you see, so the male chauvinism is already there. So that might be one of the reason for which he has written that, to glorify women so that women can be treated in a better way. So it might be one of the reason. Again, I have to look for it, why he has not talked about. But many, in many verses he talked about treat male very reform way, treat them in a very, also he has also talked about in the duties of women, there he talked high about how to deal with, how to treat men also. It's not that he only talked about women, he also talked about, in many verses, you can see, he talked about how to treat the men with all dignity, with all love and care, more love and care is expressed.
And the point that I wanted to make is, Manu was so clear in his mind that women are somehow, maybe physically and even, I don't know, mentally feeble to some extent, and that's why they need a protection. In order that to ensure that protection, he has sent a message to the society that you love the woman folk in your family, in the society, okay, and you respect them. Where you
No, no,
respect,
no,
there you
no.
find the divinity. Is it so? Isn't
Sir,
it
I
so?
want to interfere. Mentally, they might not be feeble because in that context, there is no verse that depicts that women are mentally feeble. It might be the physical, regarding the physical strength, and there is difference that also Manu admits in one of his verse. And further, Manu, because it might be the, you just think about the society at that time, what was happening in the society, how the society treats the woman. It might be because there are many verses, there are before that you have seen uh, in the Vedic age, in the early Vedic age, in the pre-Vedic age, Shaivism was there, Tantrism was there. So female energy was there. All the discussion through female energy, Rishikas were there. It might be the thing that because Manu talked about the general society in general, and he didn't talk about the very few number Rishikas Brahmavadinis. So in that way, you can generally we have to our upbringing should be in a very love care way, and that may be one of the reason, but it never in any verse he didn't say that mentally they are feeble. No, that is not there. To that I have strong reservations. Mentally they are equal with men. Mentally they are feeble, that is not written. It might not be and it should not be. It, because mentally science proves that mentally they are equal, and because they are not given the equal opportunities, they are not given the equal opportunity. If equal opportunities is to be provided, is to be there, then we would have think in a different way. Because equal opportunities are still not there, because of many reasons that I do not want to discuss here. Because of many reasons, equal opportunities still are not provided to the women. So that's why the variations. And when you talk about as a lawgiver, when you write a code of ethics for all the members of the society, so definitely the portion, those who are deprived, you talk more about them. That is a natural outflow. It
Okay,
might,
one more point. When
but
you
I
made a
have
reference,
to, I have
one
to
more point, beautiful point that you made while making a reference to Simon Beauvoir, that women are not born as women; they are made one by the society. The society has made what a woman is. She is not born as a woman. So, in the similar structure, Simon de Beauvoir, she made a point that when women are made to think as women, they are thought to be inferior. But when women are thought, or when the women are made to think like human beings, they are complained as they are behaving like the male
make,
folk. So
hmm,
this is
definitely.
again a part and parcel of the society, and that comes to your the male domination, the patriarchal setup that carries in. But what is the basis then? Even under the patriarchal setup that you say, the what do you think is the basis of this patriarchal setup? Why this sort of patriarchy got set up in the society, not in confined to a particular reason. It is a worldwide phenomenon. Why this patriarchy got that importance, and why the wave of feminism is coming these days, and again a counter wave of feminism is also coming up these days. So how do you see this, the entire issue?
Sir, exactly. You see, as I am again quoting Simon de Beauvoir, who says that if women think like a woman, she will be inferior. Right? It is because the society has made her to think in that way, and the society treat women as an inferior being. So when he has to think like a man, he will be a better person. So that means she has to transcend and transform. She has to transform and transcend and transform that gender biasness. But when you talk about the why this basis of patriarchal mindset, there is not a single reason, single factor. I cannot say that Single factor is there, multiple factors. Multiple factors. I cannot even those who says that it is outrightly religion and only religion who is the sole culprit, I have reservations, because it is not only religions, because through religion we can easily approach, that may be a possibility. Through religion we can, because religion act like as an opium, we can easily establish. So through religion we can approach, that may be a possibility, I do agree. But there are also the politics that plays a very crucial role here. And you see what is happening nowadays in politics, the females are there, but the female representation, you see, even the representation is there, it is not a active representation. Actually, who is actively doing it is the husband or the other members, brother or brother-in-law, or even the father-in-law or father. So active representation still it is not there, so it is a passive representation. So my point is that even religion is also influenced by politics. So I can say multiple factors. Out of the multiple factors, key element is the power of politics and nothing, because men want to occupy the power. Power means where finance is concerned. You see, when in anybody's family it happens, when it about the investment of finance, the decision of the father or the head of the family will be the final one. Why this? Because where finance plays a crucial role, and where there is finance, power politics is there, and that power politics compels the men to occupy the higher position. And for that, how they will occupy? Only by that they are making this work division, by making this the atmosphere, making the hostile for the women to work. So that's, even you see, body shaming is there. So if a girl will go through that body shaming, she will face again. She be comfortable in her workplace? You just imagine. So this is, we are not hesitant to pass comments on our body, to pass comments on our work. So this is how we are just suppressing the women folk. So there are, I cannot say a single reason. Single reason is the culprit. There are multiple reasons.
Okay, okay, madam,
Okay,
very nice,
thank
It
very
you,
is
nice.
thank you,
it
We
is
madam.
shall, we shall,
it is
we shall conclude
multi,
here. We
it has
shall, okay,
multi-dimensional aspect. That
Okay,
is
madam.
the
Thank
okay.
you, madam. Now, over to Professor Das.
Yes, we shall be very much serious about our timing. So that is the distance of meeting. So by 8 p.m. means 8 p.m. or maximum flexibility of 10 minutes. Okay. So all everything cannot be discussed overnight. So let us reserve it for the next session. Anyway, the very I appreciate the presentation of Dr. Sarangi, because all the points made by her are very clear and logical. Just I am speaking of some points that she very clearly said that the scriptures written at one point of time, based upon some contexts, should not be taken to be granted. Very clear. If this much is accepted, even it may be Manusmriti, even it may be Mahabharata, even it may be Ramayana, all the scriptures written, even Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita has been interpreted so many by so many in so many ways. So it is interpreted by a human mind. So it is subject to correction, revision in the change of the context. If this much is accepted, then her entire talk will be accepted. Because it is the scripture, the plus point, minus point, everything is there in the scripture, and that is subject to revision. So no scripture should be taken granted. Number one. Number two, she is saying that in a geographical area, it is not a general assumption. In a geographical area, for example, India, Suppose we may take other geographical areas, the value systems vary. So in a particular area, for example, India, suppose we are talking about patriotic feelings. It is not about a male or female. She is claiming that a female member also may give priority to the male mindset. That is the point. So the patriotic mindset is expected from a female also. That is the point. The point is not between the mother-in-law or daughter-in-law. The point is your mindset. What is your mindset? Because you live in a particular geographical area and you are groomed by that type of a culture for so many years. So naturally, your mindset is like that. Number two. Number three, she is saying that beyond the screen of a male and a female, there is a human being who should be respected. We should look for that man, that being. If at all we claim that we are rational, if at all we claim that we are emotional, if at all we claim that we are human beings, we should search that humanity beyond the gender and beyond the sex differences. So that man should be respected. Number three. And number four is the society that has structured different mindsets in the course of time. So that, so why a man is treated as a man and why one woman is treated as a woman, it is because of the social structures he is saying, and I agree with that. And number five is I forgot the number fifth. Anyway, so all these points are very relevant, and we have no doubt about these concepts. So when we are talking about male and female, we should have respect for the woman. Therefore, Ramachandra is called Marjada Purusha. Who is a Marjada Purusha? Marjada Purusha is he who should show his kindness to a group or to a category of gender who is very weak. Suppose physically they are weak, then what should be the duty of a male person? He should be very kind enough. That is called Marjada Purusha. But we take women as the object of enjoyment. That is the point. That should not be. Wife swapping is there. Many things that we practice now, taking the woman as the object of enjoyment. So that does not show our real masculine attitude. That we should have minimum respect for, because we have sisters, we have mothers. Woman is not our wife. Woman is also our sister. Woman is also our mother, from whom we are born. So we should have minimum respect from the lady from whom we are born. We are created. So that is the point that we should, and philosophy can show this light. Sociology is a very partial view. Rather sociology is the main culprit, not religion. He said. She said that sociology is the main culprit, not religion. So it is philosophy that can show the light to all the spheres of knowledge, including sociology, psychology, science, everything. And so far as the women ability is concerned, many women are scientists, and many women are going to space and also returning safe, going and returning safe. And many women are pilots in flight. Many women are now are driving trains. Women are professors. Women are doing everything. So we should have a minimum respect for women or maximum respect for women, because each man and woman, irrespective of their differences, they have their distinct contributions. If somebody has a contribution which the other counterpart can't do, so that species should be obliged, because a woman is the progenitor of the generation. She is the creator. That cannot be done by male with the best use of science and technology. Can the scientist make a man possible to deliver a child? If not so, if and although also in the moral domain, some qualities they possess which human beings can't do. So we should recognize that. We should be obliged for that. Similarly, women also respect the contributions of a male counterpart. So there should be a mutual respect for each gender, each sex, so that we can think of a ideal society, a just society, a good society. Thank you. So with this session is declared closed, and I thank because time is short. Therefore, formally we do not go to Dr. Kailash Mahana sir. So we shall reserve time for vote of thanks. So we should make our program so condensed. So we shall have time for 5 minutes for vote of thanks from at 8 p.m. If it is exceeds, so no vote of thanks. Only see in one sentence I can say not vote of thanks. I am really grateful to all of you to be present here, to participate in this discussion, and to share your views. Thank you all. With this session is over, and I shall request Madam to come again and again with new topics. Thank you. Very nice presentation. Thank you. The session
Okay,
is
ma'am.
declared
Thank you.
closed.
Namaskar, madam. Namaskar. Thank you.